Hello, I am what people would call the Deathwalker. I was given that name about 4 or 5 years ago. I went to go see a client and I walked in and she said, "Oh my God, are you the Deathwalker?" And I didn't know what that meant at the time. But about 2.5, 3 weeks, she passed away in a place of peace. And so I continued on with my work, and I have sat with many people that have passed away. I do energy work with people that have major illnesses. I've been doing bereavement and grief support for over 15 years. And I felt the urge to make a video because we seem to live and exist in a society that makes money and profit off of fear. And so we are afraid to talk about death. We're afraid to look at it. We're afraid to sit with it. We are used to running and hiding and keeping so busy so we don't have to deal with ourselves. So I feel like it is greatly important on our planet today that we contemplate and sit with our own death. And for me, that's not morbid. It may feel morbid. It may sound like, oh, Lord, this is absolutely insane. But from my perspective, it's important because the more we contemplate that this body and mind die, and then this body and mind we put in the earth, and it feeds the planet. That's important. It's important because the next thing becomes the most difficult. Where do we go after we die? We have all kinds of religions that offer all kinds of ideas. We have people that have experienced near-death experiences like myself that can offer you their experience of what happens when we leave this body. We have all kinds of spiritual practices. We have people that don't believe in any of it. And yet what we have in common is that we are all simply going to die at some point. And so each day is given to us. It is given to us to experience life. And when we contemplate our death, when we sit with our death, what we discover more than anything is this thing that we've been denying our entire lives, or we've thought about it and then ran away from it. What begins to happen is a sense of freedom. The freedom of life. That there is something that is happening when we finally say, yes, I will close my eyes someday, or I will breathe in and breathe out, and the air won't come back anymore. And that would be that. And you have friends, and you have family, and you have a partner that's close to you, and you have kids maybe, or you don't have kids. And as you're with it, a great amount of peace comes over you. And then all these things that you thought were important to you, that you need to sit with or be with or whatever, don't seem as big. There may be problems that come up, but the problems don't seem as big. They seem manageable. You may have a sense of fear that overwhelms you, but it passes. And so as we connect deeply with the profound idea of death, we begin to really examine ourselves and sit with ourselves and begin to understand why we waste time. Why am I wasting time, right? And we have this voice inside of us that is constantly keeping us away from this life. It's working in all of us. And so from my perspective, when I'm sitting with someone, normally when I'm sitting with someone, it's their end of life. The end of this thing that they call life. They have all kinds of stories, they have all kinds of things that are unfolding within them that they are afraid to accept. And so most of the time it's coming to a place of acceptance, which some people might call surrender, some people might have a different language for it. But the quicker that we come to the realization that this body, this mind, will simply pass away. It really frees you up. And then you stop putting your attention on fear and you start putting your attention on life. And isn't life more important than anything? That this life is truly vibrant and naturally transparent and honest. That when you look at a tree and you see all the different varieties of trees, and then you see the sky, and then you wake up in the morning and the birds are singing with joy because they see the sun and they have no idea what's going to happen, but they're excited. That is the feeling that happens when you connect with this contemplation that this kind of meat suit will no longer be your identity. I know that's scary. It's frightening. And then the question you can ask yourself is, why am I so frightened to be alone? And when you sit with that question, you begin to deepen beyond the physicality of your life. Like, why do I need this voice talking to me all day long? Why do I need it? Why do I need lists to keep me occupied? Why am I running? Why do I want someone to chase me? Why am I wasting my time giving full access and attention to people that don't deserve it? Why do I have a need to save people? Right? Why do I have a need to change anyone? Why do I care what happened in my past? Why do I want to escape to a possible future? Why is it when things feel problematic right now that there's a voice inside of me that says, it doesn't matter, tomorrow will be better? But you don't even know if there will be a tomorrow. So we deal with what is given to us. Does it mean that you can't change it? Absolutely you can change it. You can change it through the choice point. That you have a choice on how you want to respond and how you want to react. It's a very intimate experience to be with someone that is dying. There is a great intimacy in death. And so my hope with giving these talks as the Deathwalker is that every time we meet together, you and I, that we are ready to embrace that which is walking with us every day. The sense of not knowing when this whole thing's gonna go. You know, I work with couples, and I work with individuals, and I work with families. And the one thing that is unique is that once you finally embrace your own death, or you're confronted by the death of your partner, that's hopefully transformational, because it allows you in a space where you are vulnerable and intimate and open. So as we go into our day, as we go into this life, can we sit and contemplate the end from a perspective of, I'm going to contemplate my ending, this life, this story that I tell you, these narratives that I share with you, that this body and this mind are going to die. I don't know when. Frankly, it doesn't really matter, but they will. So do I have time to commit the ultimate assassination on my spirit by becoming a people pleaser? For me, I feel like people pleasing is the ultimate assassination of the soul, because someone is so disassociated from their own bodies, from their own life, that they care more about how you feel about them than how they feel about themselves. And our population is all about that. It's all about people pleasing. So people will befriend someone that's got 8,000 red flags just so that person could like them. They give them full access because they can't say no. I bring that example up because the moment that you can contemplate your own death, that you could see yourself dead, that it's over with, all those constructs, all those philosophies, all those beliefs, everything that you were ever taught in your life will dissipate and fall away, because you won't have time for that anymore. You won't have time to be around people that want you to fix them, or want you, or they want to kind of vomit their grief stories on you. You just won't have time. Because life is too important. Life is a passing. Everything is passing through you. Thoughts, people, places, things, moments. Everywhere you go, you can't hold on to anything. And the only thing that you can do or say in that is that your choice, your creativity, your life experience. And then you no longer care about those that are filled with drama and want to bring their drama into your life. You no longer care about people that have no boundaries and do weirdo stuff with other people. You have no time anymore for people that have behaviors that aren't in congruence with transparency. You don't have time for that. You really only have time for integrity and truth and honesty and transparency and openness and mercy and forgiveness. These are all lessons that death teaches us, that our time has run out. And I get it. If you're a philosophy major or you're in religion or spirituality, the first idea is that there's no time. But let's just stay here for a second and be with this. First, let us contemplate our own death. Close your eyes and sit with it and see yourself laying on a bed surrounded by family and friends. Maybe you're just surrounded by your partner. Maybe it depends on how you've chosen to live this life, that maybe nobody's there for you. And there's a stranger in the room sitting with you. However it is, it can change right now when you can contemplate your own death. My name is David Matthew Brown, and I am the Deathwalker. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being present with me. And most importantly, thank you for your space.